Looking at the weather outlook over the next couple of weeks, I think it's fair to say that so far this winter season has been happening rather piecemeal. Snowstorms have happened here and there, but nothing really widespread. So the upper Midwest, Northern Plains, Southern Canada region does not have a complete base of snow. It doesn't look like winter everywhere yet. It certainly does in spots. Because we haven't really seen that widespread snow cover develop, some areas are actually having pretty dry time of it. Many areas down in Iowa, up until this weekend anyway, have been quite dry. And we are still waiting on that big outbreak of Arctic cold. We've had some chilly nights and days here and there, but nothing really terribly widespread. Let's look at the weather pattern. Right now, over the weekend, of course, we've just seen a snow system come up out of Nebraska, Iowa, northern Iowa anyway, into southern Minnesota. That's left some cooler weather in place, but not really frigid. The frigid weather continues to be locked up in the high Arctic, although it's beginning to show some signs of dropping southward. Two lobes to keep an eye on: the Pacific Northwest and off the maritime of eastern Canada. The middle of the country, still the jet stream fairly high, which is allowing a lot of fairly mild air. As we get toward the latter part of the week, I do see a trough being carved out. It's going to pull some freezing weather down into much of the Rockies and bring some pretty cold air down into south central Canada. By frigid, I'm talking high temperatures near and below zero, or at least near zero. And in this dark blue, that's where we're talking about high temperatures that are generally below freezing. The cool weather may be near freezing or a little bit above. As we get into the weekend, that frigid air still sitting up there, just really not making great inroads. A modest warm up early next week. Now we're talking the week of Christmas. We're seeing a brief ridging and then a pretty strong wave coming through, and that's going to bring that colder weather down. I don't really see it going crazy cold, but we may be starting to see some of the first frigid weather toward the latter part of December. Now, this is a 2-week forecast. I can't predict exactly where this line will be 2 weeks out, but you get the idea. Toward the end of December, I do expect some pretty cold weather into the northern plains, and that'll likely pull up some pretty warm weather in the Old South. Dry weather setting up along the eastern seaboard. Rain and storms from Texas through parts of the Midwest, and a lot of that will be rain. I do anticipate a snowstorm of modest consequence, at least in terms of moisture accumulation, coming out of the Rockies and into some parts of the northern plains this week. Moving ahead to the second week, very likely that precipitation belt will shift a little bit further south. More widespread rain and snow along the Pacific coast, down and through southern California, and some snows into much of the Colorado Rockies, while things will dry out a little bit toward Christmas in the northern plains for the most part.